Hi, this is Tim from Sylvania Fountains, and I'm here to show you all the different types of waterproof wire connections that you can consider. This one here was one that I made a video on. You can find it on YouTube. It basically is showing a way to have two cut cables using solder these pieces together, and then using a heat gun to heat shrink all the connections. And the clear piece there is the one that goes over all those connections, which ensures that there will be a waterproof splice, kind of like double protection. And it even has adhesive that oozes out of there. And if you can see the end of this, you might be able to see some of the actual glue adhesive that comes out of the stuff. That is one way. Another thing that is available, this happened to be from Page. These people don't sell this device anymore, but basically have something where you can take the splice, do something similar to what I did. You may not have to solder. You could probably just use, they gave butt connectors. I do not like butt connectors because they fall apart very easily. But you can just then squeeze these together, and with the cord and the splice in the center. And they said they had all kinds of problems with these after a few months of use in the water, so I abandoned this idea. You could, though, also make it a little more waterproof by adding some things like, epoxy or something inside that tube, and that would definitely make it where no matter if water got in, it wouldn't go anywhere. They also had a way of making a splice here with into a little conduit, and using some 8882 Scotch cast re-enterable resin. Stuff is a little hard to find, but a lot of places don't like to sell this kind of stuff in single packs. But I have some of that stuff over here. As you can see, this is the iGel 8882. It's 12.3 ounces, and that's enough to fill a soda pop can, so that's quite a bit. And again, that's a splice. And then there are other ways, but first I want to tell you that most of your sump pumps, they come with only about a 6-foot cord, as you can see with this old one that just happens to be hanging around over here. Now, you can cut the cord and go through one of these splice mechanisms. There's also, I haven't really tried this, but you can put this liquid electrical tape over the connections in each end. You can also use something like this. This is called Goop, G-O-O-P. They even have a marine grade, which I guess is good for underwater. I think this stuff is pretty good anyway underwater. Maybe they just label it that way so they get more for it. But anyways, I have used some of the goop on here and doing completely around the connection here and around each end, and that's been rather successful. Another way is these are weatherproof. These are not waterproof, these are weatherproof. And you know, these open up, each one of these halves open up, and you can put your cord in here and you can, you know, put it together, and somehow, some way you can maybe put some tape or something on the end to keep the stuff from rolling out. But you could either put epoxy or use that reenterable 8882 stuff, put it in there, and then squish this together. Again, it's going to be pretty messy because you're going to have stuff oozing out all over the place, and you now have a connection that's probably waterproof. There's also this stuff. It is not electrical tape. And believe me, I've tried electrical tape on a connection, and it doesn't matter if you use a whole roll of electrical tape. The adhesive itself wicks through and will eventually get to your connection and cause a GFCI to trip. This kind of stuff, and this is only one brand. There's many brands. You buy it at Lowe's and Home Depot and about anywhere else. But it's really made for pipe leaks. And this stuff is, there's really no adhesive on the thing. There's a little bit right at the very end to keep it together. But other than that, you stretch this stuff and you wrap it around your connection, and it's supposed to be good for at least 100 psi. And if it doesn't let any leaks out, I'm sure it can't let water in. Haven't tried it yet, but it sounds like it's pretty promising. Again, there are various names it comes under. The problem with splices, like one of these, which is, you know, very good, you cannot any way, shape, or form pull this thing apart. It's very good connection. I think it's very good in the way of waterproofing. But as you can see, the cord is missing. The plugs are missing. Therefore, if you would try to take your pump back, you might get some problems from whoever you bought it from, because there's no longer any plug on there. So that can be a problem. Again, just going back to these butt connectors, these have adhesive and stuff in them too, but I have, you know, never had good results with the butt connectors. Every time I put these things together, yank on them a little bit, I can get them to come apart, even though at first they seem to be pretty good, but they don't seem to hold up. Soldering is a much better way to go that I found. But there's now another way, and that is, I'll show you that here is a typical extension cord end right here, and you'll see that on the end there's this little ear, and on that, the only thing that ear is for is so that you can't plug this cord in backwards. You have to have it in a proper orientation to get the plug in. So it really just doesn't serve any other purpose. So to me, that's I'm going to be cutting that off here. And then I also got another extension cord, which you can see I've already cut off that little ear, and I had to really shave this thing down to get it to where the my heat shrink would fit. This happens to be a 1-inch piece of heat shrink. And let me clear a little bit of this table off here first so you can see what's going on. Also, you can see how much I had to shave off of the thing to get this stuff to fit. Alright. Okay, I now have a call this the sump pump cord, which you got to make sure is nice and relatively clean, because you're going to be putting some heat shrink on there, and I got to make sure that this is going to be our waterproof connection. So we're going to first get our cord through here. And again, we're going to put this as our extension cord that I had to whittle down to make sure it's going to fit, taking the ear off. Put it together first. Nice snug fitting. I'm going to feed this down in. Try to get it in about halfway. And feeling about where it is, that's about it. Maybe just a touch more. Okay, so all I got is a extension cord with the two ends put together with this giant piece of 1-inch heat shrink with double wall with adhesive and everything else. I'm going to use my heat gun here. And I always start at the middle. That way you got any kind of adhesive is going to be pushed towards the ends. I'll make sure that everything is nicely sealed. Working my way out. Looks like I'm on top of the male connector right now. We're getting out towards the cord. Again, a hair dryer will not work, and do not use a torch or even a lighter. This stuff, you're talking, a lot of material here. And you start using things like torches, and it's just going to burn a hole through this stuff. won't be any good. Alright, I gotta do the same thing on the other side. Gotta get out of the way here so you can see what's going on. Heat shrink is pretty neat stuff. Oh, by the way, the cord diameter I measured was 0.343, and this is supposed to shrink down 3 to 1. So we'll see how it all comes out here. We're just about done here. Alright, I think we pretty much got it. Well, let's see what we have here. Looking at the inside, I don't know if you can see it very well, but looks like there's quite a bit of glue coming out, or adhesive. And this side too, I can see adhesive popping out. You can see some right there. So it looks like it's a good connection. Still pretty warm. But the biggest advantage with this right now is, of course, being waterproof, and that this can be removed, and then you can take back your sump pump back to a store if needed, or if you need to work on it or change the extension cord. Got a lot of options here. So looks like the thing is a success. So alright, that's basically all I had to show you, and I hope you enjoyed the video.